What's going on, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Just a quick reminder, we do this every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. live right here on my channel, William Jonathan Lee. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Please leave a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment for us, push that notification bell to make sure you get notified every time I post a new video. And of course, my co-hosts are back today and we have a huge topic to talk about tonight. So hello to Mike and hello Jennifer and Tyrone. What's going on, y'all?
Hello.
Hello.
What up, y'all? What up?
Very happy to be here. Unfortunately, we forgot to put down that "duh baby" was going to be the topic of this whole thing. It's so you're doing it right now, Tyrone. You're just a. Well, I tell you. Anywho, this situation with the baby is very multifaceted. There are so many different opinions about it, and we're excited to give you ours. I don't know if we're going to be able to get into anything else, but we are four opinionated people, so that might consume the whole show. All right. So we're just putting up the title of the video right now. So anybody scrolling by would like to see what we're talking about, they'll be okay. There we go. They will know what we're talking about and such. And Tyrone, do you have the video for what the baby said?
Yeah.
I'm not excited to hear it, but let's do it.
Right.
Well, here we go. There it is. Not sure if it is going to play audio.
Is it?
But this is the video.
Oh, so that's the video. Okay.
So everybody been talking about all week long.
So when you click on the little sound thing, there is no
audio coming from it.
No.
I put it the wrong way.
No. Okay. Anywho.
Sexually transmitted diseases.
Oh.
Make 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone like that. Lady, if you smell like water, put a cell phone like that. Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking in the parking lot, put your cell phone like that. Let's be real about this. Yeah, keep it real. Some of y'all suspect at the mom. Let's be real. You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone like that.
Okay, that's enough of that. Just to make sure you heard all of that carrying on, you can dismiss him, Tyrone. Whew. These are the comments that flowed from this young man's mouth on the rolling out big old to-do concert or whatever, right? Now, before we do move on from him saying that and just start talking about it, we have the luxury as a show that goes on Thursdays to get a little bit more information from that. So I think we have an apology from him. Do you remember? Do you have the apology, Tyrone?
I do.
Okay. Can you pull it up for us? I would appreciate it. All right, can't hear that. Hold, please.
You don't got AIDS, put a cell phone light up. I say, if you ain't in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights up. So I could drop my next song. I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called, because I'm a live performer. I'm the best live performer. I'm the live show killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying? Look, all the lights went up gay, straight. You want to know why? Because even my gay fans don't get in AIDS, stupid. They don't got AIDS. My gay fans, they take care of themselves. They ain't going for that. They ain't no nasty gay. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no junkies. You know what I'm saying? On the street, man, you talking about Then I said, if you ain't in the Rolling Loud parking lot, put your cell phone light up. You know what my gay fans did? Put them light up. Because my gay fans, they ain't.
Okay. That was that. Apparently, he's doing his best to stick up for his gay fans, but I'm not going to give my opinion just yet. The last thing that I do want to recount for you guys is his third apology. I think, in my opinion, the best one, the written one. It says, let's see. Anybody who done ever been affected by AIDS, HIV, y'all got the right to be upset. What I said was insensitive, even though I have no intentions on offending anybody. So my apologies. But the LGBT community, I ain't tripping on y'all. Do you? Y'all business is y'all business. And for any brands, networks, or artists that like to profit off of Black rappers' influence on the culture without understanding it or having the patience to deal with what comes with the position we play in our culture. Keep your money next time. Us in words, human too. And this also came after Dua Lipa, which is a very poppy mainstream young lady that has a song with DaBaby. She spoke up, and it looks like there's a possibility of his voice being removed from her big hit, Levitating. Just to give a little bit more, unfortunately, people like Boosie as well as T.I. has spoken up in defense of this young man. And also, stars have spoken up in defense of other people against DaBaby. I hope that made sense. So we have, nice people like Leslie Jordan, that nice little, gay white man. He's very sweet, in my opinion. He spoke against him.
They was dead.
A lot of people.
Elton John came out against him
John.
on Twitter.
Yes, and also that was another thing that happened before he even put that last apology out that actually sounded like an apology. He lost his
Boohoo or Badu. No.
Yeah, he lost his deal with Boohoo Baby Daddy. Boohoo Baby. Yeah, that's what it's called. Clothing line. So these are all the things that happen as a result of that. Jonathan, this is your show. Go ahead and start off with giving your opinions.
Thank you so much for giving me the floor. When I initially saw this video, of course, I was immediately offended because he was targeting the LGBTQ plus community. That was blatant. That was obvious. And we've been dealing with this forever. As someone who's living with HIV, this is not something that you ever want to hear. And this does nothing but elevate it elevates the stigma. Yeah, thank you. The stigma of people who are living with HIV and AIDS. The fact that he said, if you don't have any HIV or AIDS or any of the sexual transmitted diseases, that'll kill you in like 2 or 3 weeks. Is he aware that there are medications now that allow you to live a full and healthy life with HIV? Obviously, he doesn't know that. Another thing is the fact that he specifically said HIV and AIDS. And then the third comment was, if you are not a man who is giving fellatio to another man in the parking lot, he's automatically putting the two together. And as many of you may not know, HIV and AIDS is not an LGBTQ plus centric disease. I believe, I'm not sure if this is actually true, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the most new cases currently, the current most new cases of HIV and AIDS are actually in Black women, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's completely true, but that is something that I know for sure. So just the initial initial thing about it is like, no, 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 no. Why? And then, when he came out with that video trying to explain what he did, I give him like a C minus for doing that, because for him to
C
like flip it
minus.
like that. For him to like flip it like that, like I wouldn't have expected him to do that, like to actually say that he has gay fans. My gay fans are out there, giving fellatio to men out in the parking lot, and I'm surprised that he did that, but still, it does not negate the fact that you said what you said. And then that apology, that he said, that comment at the end, as far as the LGBTQ plus community is concerned, I'm not tripping off y'all. Y'all do what y'all do, and I do what I do. That puts a nail in the coffin of the fact that he does not like us, that he does not support us, that he does not think highly of us. So as far as that is concerned, that's what I'll put out there initially. Of course, there's more than I want to say, especially with the responses that we've been getting from other artists. But this is just very disappointing, but not surprising.
Mike, go ahead. I know you're bubbling with words.
I'm just still lost for words in how that he can even think that saying anything about HIV/AIDS or giving fellatio in a parking lot. I don't know why that even came up at the concert. It wasn't in. First of all, it was an HIV/AIDS concert. Still, what you said didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all. And that crowd was so huge. I'm pretty sure someone is affected by something in that crowd. And I know they were affected. He said, because they put your lights up, I mean, you're in the concert, you're in the middle of a concert, what are you going to do? And even if someone was affected by it, you didn't know that because the crowd was so big. So I'm just baffled. And then I'm also pissed off with just regular people who just think that what he said is not even a problem. I am so confused of why people see nothing wrong with what he said. I even have the question now, if he said, if you're not dying from cancer, put your lights up, would it still be the same issue? Would people now take it serious then? Because that's not like people negate HIV to LGBTQ, but cancer affects everyone for sure. So would that have been an issue for everybody if he said that? I want to know that answer.
So, in my personal opinion, starting off just like we all did with the HIV/AIDS comment, for you to, of course, I believe it is something to be celebrated. Hey, I protected myself during sex and I have not contracted HIV/AIDS, but we still need to be in a space that considers the ones that do have it and are living day to day, and could possibly be living in shame and not want to live anymore because I can't brag that I don't have HIV/AIDS.
Correct. I would even appreciate if he even said, like, okay, you guys be safe out there. The world is messed up, or whatever you may say. People not telling people what they have currently, their status wise. Just be safe out there. And if you do have it, just take care of yourself. I wouldn't even applaud that if that was the apology. Like, I said it wrong initially. This is my apology. Even though I knew he wouldn't have been the one that said it, but I would appreciate that if he would have come out with saying that. But how you came out and apologized and said, my gay face is not dirty. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Just because you have any kind of disease, doesn't matter what it is, people still take care of themselves. One night of fun can also end up, you would never know. So, I mean, I don't believe in cancel culture, but dude, Jesus, he's making me change my mind
Yeah,
real hard.
I
You going
really
blurry?
do.
What's going on?
I
Okay.
don't know what's going on with this camera, but anyway, the the part about turn off anyway, the part about especially him saying, like, no disease that you're gonna die 2 weeks from. All I could hear in my shando was ignorance. This man
Ignorant.
don't know nothing about nobody. He don't know
Nothing.
nothing, and that's in my heart makes it feel like it's just worse than the words that he actually said. And
And
you're
it's
right.
not
Right.
1960, 1970, where people where that was probably the number one killer, but
Yes.
heart attacks, diabetes, cancer are killing
Come
people way
on.
faster.
Exactly. Um, One last thing I wanted to say, for him to attempt to redeem himself by saying, "All of my gay fans, I love you," or whatever. Here's the issue. For you to truly love someone like your brother, you would at least want to try to understand them and not push them away. Y'all do what y'all do and keep on
And
pushing.
keep on
That's
pushing.
that's not love. And in these days and times, you have to do right by the gays because first of all, the gay community is one of the biggest loyalist, most loyal fan base
Okay.
out
And
here.
we're the
We
ones making you pay your bills and pay your child support and everything. We the ones that helping you do that.
come on, child support.
Okay.
But that
Ask
is
all the divas. They know for
okay.
sure. Okay.
Okay, because you got to do right by your homosexual community, the whole LGBT. Because if they going up for you, they ride hard, and if you disrespect or like dishearten the community, you're not going to have much more of a what's it called, a career,
A
because
career.
seeing people distancing themselves from him right now, I see that it's already happening.
It's
The
not even enough to me. Like it's not even. I feel like it's more people on his side than it is against him right now. Because even on Facebook, I'm very active on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I've been putting his posts on Facebook, and people have been, well, what's wrong with what he said? I'm like, you know what? I'm not even explaining it at this point because if you don't see what's wrong with what he said, then why even? I don't. It's not one person can change because it's pure ignorance that to me. Now I did
And I'm
explain it to
glad that
my
you brought
cousin, but if she understood after
Mm,
I explained it, because I'm like, she said, well, he didn't thinking about gay people, but when anybody express anything about HIV, AIDS, they already automatically put it towards an LGBT person. So that's the problem for me. And then the sucking penis, giving an oral transaction in the parking lot, even his DJ was like, some of y'all suspect. So that made it a gay thing then also. So it's not about he did not say it. He did say it. He meant what he said. It is it's I don't know why he said it. I can't even think about what was going on at the time. Rolling Loud, I'm sure nobody said anything about anything sexual transmitted disease. I don't understand where that came from. I don't understand, and don't really want to try to understand. I'm over the baby. The baby can go somewhere else. If he was on fire, I wouldn't spit on him.
mm,
Wow. I just wanted to say something really quickly, just to piggyback off of what Mike just said, because I had a conversation with my mother earlier today because we talked about it. And I told her until I will say the world, but what I said to my mom was the African American community, until
mhm.
the African American community or the world as a whole sees discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community the same way that they see racism, then we are always going to continue to have these issues. And because it seems like the world in general doesn't see anything wrong with discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. That's why we have all these discussions. That's why we have all this uproar, because it seems like the outside world does not understand. And
Yes, I so agree.
what worries me is the fact that, it seems like racism is more of a generational thing. It seems like homophobia is probably part of the same deal. And I don't know if in our lifetime we will see total, like, freedom and total, openness and, total acceptance. I don't believe we will see it in our lifetime. But, like I said, until the world sees discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community as bad and whatever it is, with racism, as until the world sees those two are the exact same thing, then we're not going to move forward.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
Tyrone, the straight man of the bunch. Won't you give your thoughts, your thought process, and things of that nature?
Uh, yeah. Initially, I bear with me. I don't want to sound insensitive, but when I first saw the post of what he said, at the concert. I was like, oh Lord, here goes another rapper running their mouth. Oh well. And I just dismissed it. I didn't think of it any more than him just running his mouth. And as I sat with it, I'm like, here we go again with the homophobic rhetoric from the rap community.
Mm-hmm.
What is it with you guys? And I'm as a musician, I'm speaking of this. Like, what is it about the music industry in general that has this homophobic, xenophobic thing going on to where you're happy they putting money in your pocket, but then you take jabs at them for living their lives? I don't understand it. And then when people clap back at you, you're like, oh, hey, why is it that serious? It is that serious, people.
Correct.
If it was people talking about you looking like a thug out here in the streets,
Well,
Mm-hmm.
you always talking down about women every time. You always talking about shooting, killing, robbing people, disrupting peace in the community. And you're like, oh, well, it's my art form. Really? That's what you choose to glorify as art?
Right.
yeah, I
And
taught him well. I do a good job of making Tyrone aware of these issues. and
I'm sick of it.
and
I'm sick of it because, look, why can't we just be who we are?
at all
Why
times.
can't we just accept each other for whatever differences that we have and celebrate them when it's time to celebrate them?
I think it's because of the closeted gay rappers right now don't feel
That-
as if they would get too far.
I don't think it's the closeted gay rappers' fault. I don't think it's
That's
the gay.
totally bad, though.
I think it's the judgmental people in in America
That's what I said.
that's making them go closeted, because now I want to say it's the straight men and the straight women who, not everyone, but the ones who always have something negative to say about anything that they don't agree with, especially the homosexual lifestyle. This is why people are in the closet or don't want to come out the closet and say and live their life fully. That's the real reason why. And I want to also say, I'm glad we have this show, because it made me understand when Tyrone was speaking, saying he heard it and didn't really think nothing of it. This is probably a lot of straight people thoughts right here, because they're not.
right.
If you're not affected by it, then you don't think about it. So I can understand now. I can, okay, maybe I can give some of the straight people a pass, but even when it's explained to certain people and they still don't understand it, then that's the people that's ignorant as hell. But I can understand why so many people say, "Well, I don't get what's the issue," because they don't know that when you're gay and people automatically think that you have some form of disease. So I can appreciate hearing another side now when it's
Look.
explained correctly.
Like Jonathan's point, when it comes to racism,
Correct.
we're all black, right?
So we understand
None
each
of
other's
us-
struggles.
None of us think about in the moment until somebody crosses that line that racism is being implemented.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they just walked across the street after just being 6 feet away from me and looked up startled and walked across
Right.
the street. Nobody thinks about that as being a part of prejudice and racism.
Yeah, that's just like you know how there's a lot of white people in this world that don't know how to identify with the African American experience because they've never had that. It's the
It's very
same situation
Not
with
their
the
experience.
LGBT community. I've never walked in the shoes of a lesbian woman, so I
mhm.
don't know what she has to face or worry. But being that I had the blessing of having a gay brother, I have actually gone through the whole thought processes of like, I didn't care how Jonathan acted in the house. I never cared about that. I never cared about who he was. I was only concerned about how people would receive him and if they
Receive.
wouldn't. And as a sister, as a big sister at that, it's like I have always wanted to defend my brother. And my only concern ever was him being accepted. So I believe that's the only reason why I have a semblance of like, okay, I get why this is that way because when he said that thing about HIV and AIDS, that hit me. I was like, no, you're
Hmm.
talking about my brother now. That's a problem.
Yeah, and I know
You
many
know,
people who are affected by that the disease. So it hit me because I'm like, okay, I don't even want them to be upset about it.
Exactly.
We, my friend, my best friend has it, and I just know the process of finding out, then accepting it, and then moving on and living your life fully. Still, that's not
mhm.
something that's just speaking overnight. So I understood. Like he, what the baby did was just uncalled for. It's no excuse. I don't. You being an artist over many millions of people, you should be aware and conscious of what comes out your mouth. And if you was
What's
at a regular job, you would have got fired over it.
right,
Right.
right.
So whew, I don't never. That man pisses me. He pissed
You
me
know,
off. He
that's just
pissed
like
me the
that
fuck
one.
off.
Mm,
That's like that
Excuse my
one
language.
person
you're good.
at the job that finally realized they were hired because of affirmative action,
Mm.
Hmm.
and they wonder why everybody treated them different in the office.
But let me ask one thing to you guys, and I'll let Jonathan answer first. Like, in your opinion, what can we do about the total ignorance that is going on? It's like now, I'm not saying my husband was ignorant. I just
Mm,
had to give him some different viewpoints of
correct.
how to think of some things, and then he knows a lot more than his friends actually when it comes to the LGBT community. Like, how do we start to address the ignorance of other people? And shoot, that's the almost like asking like how do we make sure white people are trying to understand our struggle? So
Right.
like,
For me, we got to debunk these myths that
what are the myths?
everybody in the LGBT is walking around with these diseases and spreading the diseases, just like they have this myth that all black people are lazy and don't want to work.
Okay.
All black
For
people all want to do is just steal
Hmm.
and rob each other and kill each other.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
for me, and this applies to the whole black white thing and the homosexual heterosexual thing. I don't know if there's any more that we as a community can do because the information is available. There's no way that you can say that the information is not available because it is available. It's up to the other half to open themselves to the possibility outside of what is in their minds. And that is what will get us to a better place. I can scream until I'm blue in
Yeah.
the face. And those people who feel what they feel about the LGBTQ plus community will not budge until they have some type of opening, until they maybe meet someone, until they realize maybe one of their family members is gay, until they realize maybe their preacher is gay, maybe until they realize their doctor or their lawyer is gay. Something will have to happen with the other side. But the information is available. I don't know if there's anything more that we can do as a community to educate any more than what is available out there for you to see yourself.
It really just sounds like we have to, excuse me, they have to actually have the desire because you're right.
Exactly.
There's
You have
nothing
to be
that
open
they
to it.
can
You have to
say.
be open. You definitely have to be open to new information, and just allow yourself to just look at a different side. Put your
Or
put your
just ask
put your
themselves
feet in my shoes for one day. And I always
if they
say,
can. No, I was just gonna say if they can ask themselves, well, why are they upset?
Yeah.
correct, correct. And I told my cousin, I was just telling her that just imagine you being a black person walking into an all white establishment. That's how the gay feels when he walks outside the door. All the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Right. Thank
It's always
you.
gonna be somebody looking at you weird, frowning their face up, making comments in their
Ooh,
head. So that's gonna happen all the time. We really have to probably one of the thickest skin out here because just from an early
okay.
age, you just seen this right here behind people
Yeah.
asking you, "Are you gay?" in high school. It's the thing, and the thing also, I will say this: if you're not affected, like I said earlier, if you're not affected by it, you don't know about it. Like when I came out to my mother, well, I was found out, but I have to let her know it's not an overnight thing. It's a process. She's never been gay before, and she never had a gay child before, other than when I came out. So, you
Exactly.
know, all the dreams that she had, probably about grandkids and my being married to a woman, those dreams are now in the trash can. So it's she's going through that process also. Like she has to revision her mind to what the reality is now. So uh, you definitely have to. I know Jonathan said he could talk to you in the face, but that may be me meant to turn blue because some people just do not know. And I think some people are open to hearing a different side. And hopefully one day, I do know for me, me, I'm the only child, but I'm very outspoken. I go out to a lot of straight events. I go to a straight bar all the time. And I do know when I first walked into the straight bar, it was like, oh, here to go this punk
Mm-hmm.
or
Hmm.
gay
Yeah.
sissy coming in. But now it's also you have to carry yourself a certain. I know I hate when you have to like act different, but I'm not saying act different, but sometimes you can't go to an all straight event acting like
Exactly. Yeah.
flamboyant and twerking all the time. You just can't do that. For me, you can't do
For the
that.
most.
You're doing the most. Um, but you have to carry yourself a certain way. You have to make sure that you don't. Some you can't be messy. Outside of our people.
But you
It's
know
just
what?
like a black person going to an interview. Well, that's the job. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but you know, that's one way they can maybe look at you differently. Okay, well, he's not too bad. Maybe I can understand. Or you make me change my mindset. I thought all gay people was this. Like my mom thought all gay people wore dress and wore wigs and all. Gays come in different sizes. Too. Your best friend could be gay. And you don't even know it.
Okay.
And
So,
you know what? I wanted to address Ti's comments really quickly.
ugh.
So
Go in, brother. That's your name.
so Ti gave an analogy. So if Little Nas X can be out and about and proud, and
Child,
I love his new video, by the way. But anyways, if he
me
can
too. I
do
think
what
it's real
he
cute.
do, if he can do what he does, then why can't the baby, just state his opinion? It's only an opinion. Well, here's my answer to that. Little
As
Nas
if
X
if
is
the baby had a something on his back that he can't act himself all the time.
right. So here's the thing. So what Little Nas X is doing, as far as his artistry is concerned, is not hurting anyone. It's he's doing what he does. Now, as far as the baby is concerned, he has an opinion, and we have free speech in this world. However, if said opinion is a divisive opinion, then you have to expect for there to be a response to said divisive opinion. So it seems like Tia has it all mixed up. And again, it goes back to my point. Until the African American community or the world as a whole understands that discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community is just as bad as a problem as racism is, then we're always going to have this disconnect. And it's crazy. Yeah.
And I don't know why Ti should be the number one person to shut the fuck up. Like just shut up, Ti. Like why are you even
Okay.
talking at this
Period.
point? You got too much stuff going on in your
Too
own
much.
home with you and your wife. Where you need to be quiet. You over here drugging women to have sex with you
Allegedly.
and get them allegedly, but
Allegedly.
you wouldn't about to speak on that. So
But
just be quiet. You need to be the last person having a topic about any kind of conversation going on in the media.
thank you for bringing that up, Jonathan. Let me tell you something. How can you say this is his opinion? He said these were his facts, not opinions. He was talking about put your cell phone lights up. If you don't have HIV/AIDS, something that can kill you within 2 weeks. This These are his facts. Though they are ignorant facts, that's what he's saying. Like, like Trump, these are his
Whew.
Talking points.
talking points or fake facts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Alternative facts.
alternative facts. Thank you, husband.
Hmm.
Now, when he goes to talking about if you weren't sucking dick out in the parking lot as a man to another man, that's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. Even
And if you
if
was, so what?
that's what I'm saying.
You got
And
rolling loud.
then if your hoo ha smells like water, like, so first of all, is that what we're reduced to? Just
Water?
just hoo ha, and
H2O.
also is that it? And then first of all, some people are like, I don't even know if I don't even know if it can smell like water. Mine never smelled like water. I mean, is that how it's supposed to smell? That's another thing. Wait, hold on.
I do not want to know this
Is that it?
information whatsoever. Y'all can have this conversation after the video is over. I need not know.
Anywho, moving forward. But still, shut up. But still,
Was
like,
that the drums now?
yeah.
It was.
But what that bothers me, because is that all we're reduced to? And think about this as well. Apparently the baby does not use any condoms or anything because of all these babies that he's having. So now he's the one that's susceptible to receiving HIV and AIDS. Shoot, I've heard.
In his opinion, that's a gay thing.
So he can't get it.
Right.
I can't
He
get
can't
it.
get it.
But he keeps on raw dogging these girls, and I'm guessing these water
Yeah.
these
Ooh, almost said it.
Yes. These water smelling
But then
hoo-has.
The water smelling hoo-ha.
He also said that we didn't
Necklace.
hear the whole show. You don't know what happened before the video was showed.
It don't matter. It came out
So
your mouth.
I was like, what could have happened previously that we did not see that will make what you said make sense?
Because
would
what
eat-
happened before then is when he bought out
Tory
Lanez.
Tory Lanez, and somebody
Oh, so that's what happened. You were triggered by him. Okay.
And
You
I
were
would
triggered
eat-
by
threw at him.
a man who shoot women in the foot. Okay, I got what you're saying. You should have said that. If you don't shoot women in the foot, put your phone lighters up. You should have said that.
But
If you don't cheat on women, put your phone lighters up. You should have said that. But that'll affect you and your homies.
Come on.
No, but
And
you
you know,
like, yo, I support my homie.
Yeah, so you can't
But
say
then
that.
you bring this dude out at your show.
And
While
she
y'all
took
here
it
in
as
the backstage, probably getting
Bruh.
fellatio from.
Go ahead, Jonathan. I'm
What are
sorry.
you doing?
And something else that that T.I. said recently that really pissed me off was he said that it's like gay people are bullying rappers now. For how many decades have
How?
rappers been talking so badly about the LGBTQ plus community and using
they
the
in
F
it.
word, talking about the fact that they're not sissies, talking of the fact that they're hard and they're this and they're that. Like, where does he get this from? Like, I don't understand. And it just shows that this man who uses big words all of a sudden, just about like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, all of a sudden he's got this,
he's been
huge
using
vocabulary, but it's obvious that the meaning to the words are null and void. Null and void. Null
I
and
still
void.
don't know. And T.I. Let me not say what I'm about to say because I'm about to be really be triggering. But if he needs to be quiet, because out of all his kids, I think one of them might be part of the community. So he needs to hush up too.
And you know what? It's usually the ones that speak the most against the LGBTQ plus community that actually have one directly in their household.
Yes, and he don't want that child to be hurt about anything he should say right. So he need to hush his damn mouth up too, because Ti already got too much going on right now. Win the case, Ti. Okay, that's my only thing for you. Win the case.
Yeah. Look,
Now,
look. Yeah, I found it funny in the comments. They were like, "Where was all this energy when people started bringing up these allegations?"
Oh, he was
Ti,
talking then too. He
he
was
was
talking then
real
too. Too
quiet
much
after
then.
a while. He got real quiet after a while, though.
Go ahead,
Mhm.
Jonathan. Go ahead, Jonathan.
right. So I was just going to say it's just it's ridiculous to me, this whole situation. But yeah, go ahead, somebody else, because I lost my train of thought.
Well,
Um,
just know anybody who's watching this that doesn't know anything about HIV/AIDS, just know that it's a livable. Is I don't know if that's the right word. It's the right word. You can live with the disease. It's not the
Yeah,
number one killer like it was 30,
in the
40,
80s.
50 years
years.
ago.
Right.
So please ignore the ignorance. It's people that you do not know who has it walking around America, looks very healthy, are healthy. Um, so just know that anybody can get this disease. It's not something that's only affecting the LGBTQ plus community at all. So be mindful what you say, because you never know your neighbor, your best friend, your mother, your father. You never know who in your family may be getting it. If they, I don't want to say I don't want to say they want to get it.
Yeah, you don't put it on nobody,
Saying,
but
I don't want
yes.
to put it on anybody. Just be mindful what you say, because you never know what you say can hurt somebody.
Right.
Oh,
Now,
and
go
now
ahead.
I remember what I was going to say. Because me and my mom mentioned this too earlier today. I don't want the LGBTQ plus community to rush to saying that, this must mean that the baby must be a part of the LGBTQ plus community himself.
No,
A
I
lot
don't
of
believe
a
that.
lot of us
Too late.
will say
Too late.
that, it is it is,
Too
I
late.
won't say a well-known fact, but it is known that, many of the most homophobic people do tend to be same-sex attracted themselves. However, I don't want us as a community to rush to saying that. Earlier today on Instagram, I was about to post a picture that I saw of the Little Nas X music video. And in the video, he has two inmates on both sides of him holding his pockets. And I don't know if you know this, but in jail, when someone is holding the pockets of another, that means that they are the property of the other. Or, the
Oh,
man
I
is
didn't
the
know
one who's got the
that.
pockets, and the one who's holding the pockets is his boy. So earlier today on Instagram, I saw a picture of Little Nas X in this video, and the two people on
Boosie,
the other opposite sides of him were Bootsy and the baby.
the baby.
So
I saw that.
I was really going to post that. I really wanted to post it, but I was like, you know what? This is just pushing forth the narrative that this means that these
Yeah.
people are gay. And to
Yes.
be honest, I don't want them to be a part of our community because they have no
Wait,
place in our
they
community
ain't
whatsoever.
welcome. Come on now.
But yes, so I just wanted to put that out there. Please, y'all. I mean, I know it seems like a good jab to, just put that on them, but
We good. Y'all can
I
have them.
see our community as a great club to be a part of, and others who are not to be a part of it, they can just stay out.
Oh, we
Oh,
go
man.
ahead, Tyrone. Were you about to say something?
I hated this growing up as a heterosexual male, that there was so much of a push to always show this toughness and manliness so you don't look like what they
A
were,
homosexual.
yeah,
Mhm.
as they would describe you to be if you crying over,
Because you soft.
Right.
Or
or
say you soft.
you're sensitive about common things. Your friend dies.
Why are you crying? Man up.
Why are you crying, man? Man up. Or they've taken things so far out of the context of where you can't even eat foods in front of people.
Right.
Oh,
No
what?
Man,
bananas, no
you better not
cucumbers,
you
no
can't get
yams.
Oh,
no
a sucker.
cucumbers, you can't get no hot dogs.
Nope.
You better not. Oh, you got to break it off to eat that. No, man. Like,
Mhm.
why?
And I think it
Why?
comes from the home. It
Where's
comes from the home. Like I know my grandparents are old school. So I would never tell my grandmother about me being a homosexual, I know she might think it, but you know, with the old school, if you did confirm it, it ain't. It's not, you don't talk about it. So it's like
Right.
don't ask, don't tell. So I mean,
I hate that, there's this stigma that you have to portray yourself one way around this group of people and then have to portray yourself as another thing
and
around this set
I
of people.
hate that it's only people who are part of the LGBTQ community is the only one that has to portray themselves that way, because it could be someone at the house who is a cheater and they'll be accepted quicker than you being a homosexual.
Absolutely.
I feel that way.
Duly noted.
You can
I-
definitely. I'm gonna go back to old school grandparents. You can be a sinner, but if you be an LGBTQ sinner,
Mm.
that's the ultimate betrayal. But you can cheat on your wife, have outside kids, do all the other stuff, and you, boy, stop doing that. Come get you a plate.
So does this all go back to the church?
Oh, absolutely.
Like that.
Does
They
this
don't see
go
your
back to the
hand.
church?
But look,
It
Absolutely.
goes back to the church.
Oh,
I posted a saying: if you're not affected, then you don't know about it. So the the church
because
will speak on the LGBTQ community for a whole hour and a half, but they won't speak about their husband or their spouse who pop in that.
Come on now. But I do
And-
want to make something clear really quickly on behalf of William Jonathan Lee and his platform. I just want to make sure all of you know that we know that Jesus loves everybody, including the gays. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
if you love
Yeah.
Jesus, that is certainly all right. He loves you too.
And that's the only reason why I won't cancel anybody in the culture, because I have did so many sins where God has still forgiven me.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I don't believe in cancel culture. Now I can choose who I spend my dollar on, but
Right.
you know,
Thank you.
I won't say cancel anybody, because I just know if God canceled any one of us, we would have been everybody sins.
Come on.
Everybody. So, and he still forgave us and still forgiving us and still forgiving us in the future for what we about to do again. So, so he's definitely a forgiving God. So that's why I won't cancel anybody.
Absolutely.
But I won't spend my dime. I won't spend a dime on the baby. I can tell you that though. Not a nail, another dime.
What to say, Tyrone?
I know that's right.
saying this.
What's up?
I'm gonna be in trouble for saying this.
Say it, Ty.
Say it.
The safe space.
The church, the church is the people. The church is not Jesus Christ.
This is true.
Oh yes, yes, I agree.
Okay.
And because these people have these feelings, they put it on Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And they never go back and look at the word from both the Old Testament
And
and the New Testament.
But you know, it's also tradition. That's
Right.
what we
Tradition
Well,
is
that's what
what
we
gets you
know.
there.
That's what
That's
we've
your
been seeing
problem.
all this time. And in my opinion, any church that is going against or saying that you're not worthy of my Lord because you are gay, they are completely asinine, and they have. I can't
You don't know the
imagine.
Lord.
Yeah, I
I
can't
would say
imagine
that.
you knowing the Lord
Right.
You
because
don't know
Yeah.
the Lord.
Because are you saying the Lord hates people? That's what you're saying when they say
That's
stuff
what
like
you're
that? That's what you're saying. But I
And then
think
you're
when
like,
people understand that the church is a person speaking the word of God, and it's not God speaking to you, it's a person teaching you the word. You got to know God for yourself.
and you also
yes.
still
You
have
go for
to,
understanding.
though there is a pastor in front of you, you still have to vet that pastor to see if that particular pastor is for you. Not
Right.
everybody is for everybody. Even
Correct.
even us straight people, we have really had to pick and choose when it came to a pastor and a church and all that good stuff. And personally, when I'm looking for a pastor, I'm looking for a pastor that's not going to basically degrade people in his church. Like, you don't know who's gay all the time.
Mhm.
So it's always smart to just be loving to every single person because you don't know who
Correct.
you're about to offend. But one last thing that I did want to make sure that we brought up, Jonathan, you did say that Chris Brown said something, and I think this is a really nice bow to this gift of content.
This
And I
is
think it's
perfect.
something that somebody out there in them streets need to hear,
Yes.
especially baby. Somebody needs to
And
hear
he
this.
knows firsthand how it is when your mouth is reckless.
Ooh.
Okay.
In your hands too.
Okay. So what was
Man, I
said,
hate
Jonathan?
this.
Oh Lord, you don't put me on the spot. I gotta go back to my Instagram.
He was saying, do your show. Oh well. Do your
Lord,
do your
see, why did you
show.
put me on the spot like this? Hold on, I almost got it up. I almost.
And he has
Okay, here it goes. All right, so it says, shut the F up, do your shows, and thank everybody, then get off the effing stage. So
So
there you
clear.
go.
It's brilliant. And something tells me that this is something that what the baby said is possibly something that Chris Brown could have said, but he ain't stupid
Right,
in that
exactly.
I
respect.
don't think he would have said it because he know half his fans is part of the community. He don't want to lose that dollar. Trust me.
Okay,
Oh, he ain't stupid. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
right.
He might act slow sometimes, but he ain't no fool.
Hey now.
Exactly.
The devil's advocate in me is like, oh my gosh. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks to think of it like this. That could be looked at as the equivalent of what happened to LeBron when they told him just shut up and dribble.
It could be, but here's the issue. What LeBron was talking about was social injustice,
Right.
standing up for the downtrodden, the African American people. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also who said that? A white man said the oppressor said that to this black man.
He has
So
to be quiet.
And that's where this is
And
kind of counterintuitive
but see,
You
this is
know?
the thing though.
for somebody to bring that up.
What
if
the
they do
baby
that.
had said had nothing to do
Nothing.
with facts. It had nothing to do with, it was simply ignorance in its
Ignorance.
purest sense.
It
That's
had
all it
that
was.
nothing.
He is not preaching to anybody. Because if you're trying to say that you're better just because you don't have HIV/AIDS, that's not cool. If you're saying that you're less than because you were enjoying yourself getting your dick sucked in the parking lot, that's not cool. If you're
No,
saying that
it's not.
your puss is supposed to be smelling like
Like
water
water.
and anything
And
else is uncivilized,
bubblegum.
that's
It's
not.
uncivilized.
And let me ask you, in the world that we in today, COVID killed people way faster than anything right now.
Yeah, it
So
Okay.
why don't you say if you ain't lost somebody from COVID,
In a week,
that would have really got him.
mask on. That would have been profound.
Now, if
Right.
you
Don't
would have
get your
said that,
shots.
And I wonder how many people went home with something from that. It was too many people there. Too many people there with all this new variants going on.
And what no social distancing they did.
of course not.
On top of each other.
And look at us just
So
thinking about all the many things that he could have said that would have been profound, that
Man,
would have
it's
been
coming.
greatly received, but he
Right.
just want to say anything, and think that you're going to be think that it sounded right. He thought that it sounded right.
That's
he
why he
thought
said
that.
it.
And if he think that he says something right in the moment, and people are just gonna walk out. Like, sir,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna walk out right then and there. But I guarantee you, they got in their car and discussed it.
Come on.
I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? What the hell?
Who was he talking to?
I'm sure it was a lot of confused faces in the audience when he said that. I'm sure his PR person probably like head exploded.
If he has
If he
one.
even have one. Right.
If he has one.
If he has one, but I
You
know
know,
they working
if I
overtime this week.
Look.
Okay.
His PR person obviously wasn't on a job at all.
He'll be on
because,
vacation this week.
they let all this slip by them.
And it might have told him not to do it.
You shut your mouth. Don't you say
I don't
nothing.
care how you feel about it.
I don't care how
Right.
you feel.
But
You
I
will
feel
be
like he's the
an
kind of
apology
person
later.
where I feel like he's the type of person that will still get the advice and he will still go out and do it.
What he
I
wants
feel
to do.
like he was in the hotel room and he had that video up and we just tried to explain what I was talking about and it dug itself in a deeper hole
Oh,
because
Right.
and
you made
Jonathan
no
said
sense at all.
Jonathan said that he lost a spot in another concert.
Yeah, he was going to
As
do
he
a
should.
festival in the UK, and he's been dropped from that. So obviously, the consequences are coming, and hopefully, this will urge artists to think twice before they speak negatively. If you want to speak positively, go for it,
Go
go at it.
ahead.
But if your opinion, like I said earlier, if your opinion is divisive, think twice before it comes out of your mouth.
Right.
You
Think,
know what's
And
funny about this world right now is that we understand that they're gay people, but to be politically correct, you can't speak against them. Though there's a lot of homophobia out there, you still can't speak against them. So
just
I
like you
guess
especially
can't
if
speak
you're
against Black people, just like you can't speak against Asians, just like you can't speak against other groups of people that are
yeah.
grouped together because of who they are. You
And you
cannot
and
do that.
and if you guys say we're sensitive, yes we are. We're sensitive because you guys keep us active you guys keep our name in something negative all the time where we have to go out and to defend ourselves. So yes, we are
exactly.
sensitive. We've been fighting a fight for years before I was even part of, and we're still fighting the fight today. So yes, we're tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's why we have to make a stance now. So hopefully one day, well, I don't think there's no day soon, but hopefully one day we can walk outside our homes and feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe I don't have to look behind my back when I go out now. Make sure I don't get buzzing my back in my head, because I'm gay or what. I don't know. Hopefully one day we'll feel that comfortable.
Absolutely.
Last thing, Tyrone. Go ahead.
As a heterosexual male, I have to ask this question. How do you guys feel about, and I'm talking about everybody here, the quote unquote gay agenda that is out here?
Well, I don't want this to turn into a 30-minute spiel, but I will say this, just short and sweet. There is no such thing. Michael, what do you think about it?
The gay agenda. I don't know. Jen, you go, and then maybe I'll backtrack or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe
Let me,
I'll
let me
feed
tell
off
you
you.
something. When the LGBTQ community is attempting to be more visible, now it's being referred to as an agenda. People talk about, we don't want our kids to see this. Well, why aren't you parenting your child and making sure your children aren't seeing the things that you don't want them to see? It's not their fault for making content. They're doing what they want to do. When you talk about Lil Nas X, yes, he started off with Old Town Road. And yes, he has these other more sexually suggestive things. But literally almost every pop person has done the same thing in their
The
career.
same thing.
Everybody has had some kind of sexy era from Christina Aguilera. I don't remember Britney Spears too
Britney
bad.
Spears.
Brittany,
Britney Spears
She
did
had
have one. Okay.
Yeah, when she first
Beyonce
came
for
out.
Beyonce for sure. Pink. There's so many people that went ahead
Janet.
and okay,
Madonna,
Janet. They dove into that sexual thing. Now, there's not okay.
Nicki.
So there's nothing like new happening here. The only thing that's different is that it's a gay man, a black gay man doing this, and
Mhm.
all these insecure black straight men that don't know what to do with different things that are in front of their faces. They want to try to find a reason as to why they're doing this. Why are they being themselves on TV?
Right.
It's like it doesn't make sense to me to try to figure it out unless you want Lil Nas X. There's no questions that you need to be asking.
Thank you.
Well,
That's how I feel about it.
Yes.
Right.
And he
I'm
didn't
a,
do
Yeah,
anything to disrespect anybody. He didn't do anything different than Cardi B. She had a lot of naked people out
no.
there in her video.
And once
Nobody
again, if
said
you don't
anything
want
about that.
nobody said
if you
that.
don't want your kids watching it,
Look,
Change the channel.
be a
look,
parent and put them parental controls on.
thank
I know that you
you.
can't stop them from what they
But
see outside your house, but what's going on inside your house and that cell phone that you paying for, You better regulate it.
But
Don't blame
also, if
everybody else.
you think that because you have it in your child's still not going to be gay,
Come on.
because in the 90s when me and John were brought up, I don't know if you were 80s or 90s, we didn't have nothing gay on TV, and we were still
Okay. Hello, somebody.
okay.
That's true.
Okay, this
So-
wrist has been broke since I came out of the JJ. Okay.
Ding! Okay.
People out here are thinking that this is something that you're taught to be.
You're not taught, born.
And that goes along with the further ignorance of these people.
Right.
it's-
But,
So,
you know,
so at half the time we're born into a straight family. So who's gonna teach us how to be gay?
Who?
Unless you're saying somebody in your household had a broke wrist too.
Okay, guys. We have made it to an hour.
Oh Lord,
I
that was a
knew-
quick hour.
I knew that we would do this. Go ahead, Jonathan. You have the rest of the floor. And you know what? Before we get off here, and Jonathan has it. If you want us to talk about anything else, you have a straight man and woman here that are married and 2 gay men here. You have a lot of perspectives here. So if you want us to answer a question, please go into the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know how you feel about these things. Give us your opinions. If you want to learn more, if you want to dig deep and try to find out more and try not to be so ignorant, not saying that you're ignorant, but if there's things that you want to know, we'll be happy to answer questions. Okay, Jonathan, you have the floor.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Or if you're watching this later on, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tyrone, for coming here with me once again. We will see you guys next week. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the description box below or anything like that. But if you
We'll put it in
do
there.
not... Okay, all right, cool. But yes, we do this every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. So join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. You guys have a good night. All right, so we are saying peace.